UCPN special only on Undercover Tapes. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a new UCPN special. I'm your host, Al Mega, and today I'm joined by an awesome independent creator that I met at New York Comic Con in 2018. This man had one of the most awesome displays I saw that attracted my eye, and he had this great energy, and people were visiting him and being loud like Puerto Ricans are. When as I heard him, as I was walking up the aisle, I mean, this man is an unstoppable force in comics. And he's actually the CEO of Unstoppable Comics. I'm talking about none other than Mr. JayDee Rosario.
Thank you for having me, Al, and thank you for listening to me, everybody out there in Comic Crusader land.
No, thank you for coming on, brother. Very proud to have this awesome independent and Puerto Rican creator. Not many of us out there, so very happy to be able to talk to you about your fandom, your company, and the future of what's going on. Because, again, I've been looking at UnstoppableComics.com. I had a look at the books you handed me over at New York Comic Con. I am more than impressed with what you've done, what you've accomplished thus far. And I mean, from what I understand as well, folks, Unstoppable Comics, they're not kids. They're not new in the game. Because this May 27th, they would have been in the game, correct me if I'm wrong, 11 years.
11 years it is, my brother.
Oh, my God.
11 years of struggling, trying to get the word out there.
First off, a huge kudos to you and your team. Cause
I'm bowing, and I'm bowing for the team now. Thank you.
Dude,
Thank you.
11 years, independent comics. I mean, that's things that are unheard of. I mean, you've seen, bigger independent companies, fold in less time. So big ups to your passion. And,
Appreciate it.
And I know it's part of that Puerto Rican stubbornness that doesn't let you stop.
Damn right it is. Damn right it is, brother. Yeah.
So I want to get it. I'm sorry, bro. Go ahead.
No, that's that Puerto Rican pride behind what I'm doing, brother.
Awesome. And before we move on into your geekiness and the origins of that geekiness, where in Puerto Rico are you from, or your family from?
Well, my mom was born in Ponce. My father was from Morovis. And, I was born out here in Brooklyn, but I spent every summer of every year until the year I graduated from high school in Morovis, in Barao and Morovis.
Okay. Look at you. So see, I didn't get the opportunity. I was spat out and born in PR, and then immediately came over to New York.
Oh, man, yeah, no.
All right.
I was spat out in New York, and I was the flip side.
Let me ask you something. Let's see if you get the answer right, because almost everybody does. What part of New York do you think my parents moved to when they came from Puerto Rico?
Oh, little place I like to call Bushwick, Greenpoint area.
No. You see, we initially had our grounding in the Bronx.
Oh, you did? You see, I'm the second wave, brother.
Oh, yeah, you were the second. See, actually, my parents landed in the Bronx and then lasted a year, moved back to PR, and then by the time I was about 4, right before I got into kindergarten, that's when I landed in Greenpoint, Brooklyn.
Gotcha. You see, what happens with me is being a Brooklyn-born native son, right, we automatically have that bias against the other B place, right? So I don't really think of that place as some place that exists.
Let's not start no border beefs now. Let's start a new war in New York.
As a Brooklyn boy, the only place that I'm allowed in the Bronx is Yankee Stadium, man. That's it. Hop on the 3 train, get in and out, baby. You don't go farther than that. That's it. Man. That's neutral ground. Like the Highlander, you can only set foot in a church. That's it. That's the Church of New York, Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, man. Luckily, I don't remember the days of the Rubble Kings. I don't know if you ever saw that documentary.
I did see the documentary.
Good stuff, though, isn't it?
Brother. Yeah.
Good stuff, man. It's stuff that they don't talk about. And you know what? For your 11 years, let me begin the celebration. That's for you right there.
Oh, I like that. I like that.
And all right, let's get into the origins of your fandom, bro.
Okay.
I definitely want to know who started you into comics. What was your first particular title, and what pushed you then into getting into writing in that order, if you will.
Okay, so I started off the same way everybody did with watching those Batman TV shows as a kid, and the Spider-Man cartoons. But my very first comic books were Power Man and Iron Fist. I remember my dad getting me stuff like that. Afterwards, we would go on Saturdays to my grandmother's house, and there was a little bodega on the corner where the guy who owned the bodega used to sell his son's used comic books for like 50 cents a pop.
JayDee,
and
JayDee,
yeah.
Question here.
Uh-huh.
Did the son know that the father was selling his books?
Oh, I don't know, bro.
Poor kids in school. I think my mom did the same shit to me.
I have no clue, man. But it was, there was stuff on the rack and there was stuff in a pull box, and that's not something you get in a bodega.
Oh, no,
so
no.
That's not, that's coming from somebody's collection.
Yeah, but that is a bodega, man. Back then, bodegas in Brooklyn sold you everything. That was a mini supermarket.
Yeah, damn right. Damn right, man. It was my favorite place in the world.
I hear
For
you.
$2, I was able to pick up 4 books, and that was my day, man. That was my life. That was me for a few weeks right there.
Dude, I wish that those are days that are long, far gone. Walk into a shop nowadays, they want to take your arm for a book.
Bro, it's hard getting into some shops. You don't have any middle ground. You either got the big corporate looking shops, or then you got the small, shop where
the LCSs, yeah,
Yeah, man. But I mean, I wish things were back like they used to be, bro.
So
they're not.
You grew up in the era of the newsstand stuff, right? And when LCSs were kind of starting to be born, right?
Yeah, I remember my first LCS that I went to was on Coney Island Avenue, around the East Flatbush area. My aunt brought me there. The first book I picked up from a comic shop was, I think it was X Factor 41, 42.
Oh, wow.
It was an Arthur Adams illustrated book, the one where somebody had won a contest to introduce a new character. The character's name was Alchemy.
Okay. Cool.
I'll never. Yeah, so that was the first one that I picked up at a comic shop. Yeah.
See, my first comic shop that I remember was me and the guy, other than Grand Book Center. Because that wasn't a comic shop. It was a bookstore, but they would bag up old comics, 4 to a bag for $1. So I would stay over at Titi's house on weekends because she would go to Grand Street all the time, and they'd give me $1 or $2. I was stacking comics, and then my aunt's husband's nephew was a collector. That was the first time I saw a long box full of comics. I was like, oh, what's this?
Look at that.
And awesome. This dude had X-Mens and Spider-Mans, and I'm, flipping through them, but I already had my little experience. My mom was buying me my Savage Swords and stuff,
Right.
But he put me onto superheroes. And then my first shop, I don't know if you remember, this was in Queens, bro. Queens Boulevard, Continental back in the day. Continental Comics.
Where in Queens?
Forest Hills.
Continental Comics. Oh.
Mike Carbonaro's first shop. No, you never went there?
No.
Dude, it was an army of long boxes. You could stay there all day looking for gems, bro, for $1.50.
Really?
Yeah, man.
Oh man.
You're
bringing back to
the
magic
same era, bro.
Yeah, man. Comics were still newsprint. There was a certain smell when you went to the comic book shop.
Okay.
That smelled like home. Oh.
All right, another question. You grew up in Bushwick, you're telling me.
Right? The Bushwick
area.
New York area.
Okay, because you went all the way to Coney Island, but yet you never went to Lorimer, Pete's Comics on Lorimer?
No.
And Metropolitan?
No.
Oh.
No.
He started off with baseball cards, and then comic books started getting bigger, and then comic books just took over the whole shop. But he was one of those vendors that would overbuy?
No, I didn't. I had that. See, I was also in the Canarsie area. So there was this guy behind the Canarsie movie theater, and then there was somebody else who opened up next to the Canarsie movie theater. But that was when I was like in high school, the 89 to 93 years. So that was a ritual for me every Friday. Pick up a few books before the weekend.
That's so awesome. See, yeah, one of my shops before Midtown Comics. See, you know Midtown Comics, obviously, right?
Yeah.
I was going to Midtown Comics before it was Midtown Comics. I was going to when it was in the back of a video store called Ultra Video on Manhattan Avenue.
Really?
That's where they got their start. In the back of a video
Manhattan
store.
Avenue in Brooklyn, Manhattan Avenue?
In Brooklyn, man. Yeah, man. Greenpoint, Brooklyn is where Midtown Comics got their start.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, man. And, you know, when they moved out of there, like, where did they move to? Oh, they found a spot in the city. Everybody said, oh, they're not going to make it. City rents. And how long are they there now? 25 plus years, almost 30 years.
Yeah.
Right? With 3 locations.
Yeah. I know,
bless
dude.
their success.
I remember when I first saw them, they were like, oh, you want to give us your birthday to start a book club? So you can get a discount? I'm like, oh, well, discount works for
my dude. You know what it was? Hell yeah. Every $100 you get $20 off. You know,
what?
So, you know, every month and a half or 2 months, you'll get, you know, you pick up your stack and it was free.
Yes.
What better thing, you know? You will wait for that week too, and you will pray it's on the heavy week. Like, I don't want my wife to kill me. Damn, I need that discount.
See, that's the thing, though. Today, that discount probably only works for like 2 or 3 books with the way prices are, man.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's not the same. This is why, you know, I still have an active membership, even though I'm now living in Rhode Island. But I had a huge surprise the last time I went, right? And I picked up one book, and she asked me for my number. I was like, let me see if it's still active. And it was. I had a $20 credit available to me. I bought a graphic novel. Nice. I just bought a graphic novel. I was like, why not then? Hey, awesome.
That was a win-win right there. That was worth the trip, brother.
Well, no, not necessarily, because New York then saw our Massachusetts place and decided to give us a ticket, not knowing that we're more New York than they are. Siempre me la cobran, papa. Shit. It's all right.
I'm sorry.
No,
I feel your pain right there, brother.
Yeah. But listen, my brother-in-law went through it when he came here with New York plates. He was getting harassed. So, you know, is that people, leave us alone, man. Come on. It's just plates.
Yeah. Listen, I'm about to go to Chicago for C2E2. I'm driving out there.
Do you have a table, or you're going to let the world know about Unstoppable?
No, we got a table. We're going to be at booth 146.
146, folks. Did you hear that? C2E2 booth 146. Let them know that Comic Crusader sent you, and ask for JayDee, man. You'll have a great time with him. He was awesome at the show. His table was popping.
That's it. We're having a great time. Come on through. Show your love. Share a smile. And pick up some books, folks.
Yeah, and that's what we're going to get into in a moment. But, you know, before we get that, let's get now into the progression, right? So you got your comics, right? And, you know, who was your go-to guy? And then, well, or rather your inspiration that led you to the path that led to Unstoppable?
Captain America. Captain America was my bread and butter, man. Those 300 issues, or not 300 numbered issues. When he was starting to turn into the Captain, and John Walker and Lamar Hoskins took over the Battlestar and Captain America roles in the books. That was my favorite time, man.
It was good. It was political without feeling too political. You know, they used it in a fun way that didn't rub people a lot the wrong way. I think that's something that they did different then than they do now. But that's my opinion. Yeah,
but they still had things being drawn from today's Marvel Cinematic Universe. Oh. I don't know if you remember the first Avengers. Well, was it the Avengers where Nick Fury was talking to this like Illuminati cabinet? No, it was in the Iron Man movies, right?
Iron Man was that the first start. Yeah, Iron Man was started it all. So yeah.
Okay, so he was talking to like an Illuminati cabinet, right? Well, that Illuminati cabinet that first appeared in that that Captain America run, where Red Skull was in a clone body of Steve Rogers, and he was behind the TV with a silhouetted face, and other TVs that you didn't know who they were. They were really secret Empire people.
This is for me.
Right back then.
That run you're talking about, that's the Gruenwald stuff. And
that's right.
He was a beast. He was a beast, and literally, I think that when they took that away from him, that's what killed him, man. Because he had this vision, man. Yeah. He had this vision. Yeah. I think he was going to create a really awesome Rhodes Gallery, respectable. even Rogue Gallery for Cap, that unfortunately didn't see the light of day. You know, all of a sudden, didn't we get that turkey-breasted version of Captain America by Liefeld? Jesus Christ.
And no feet and whatever that was on his head. I know. It was bad. It was bad. But, you know, besides Grunwald being a beast, you know the story about how awesome his heart was, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or how he meant to do the right thing. So, all right. So when he introduced Lamar Hopkins, the original character name was Bucky, based after Captain America's old sidekick, right? He figured, okay, that works well. Well, Dwayne McDuffie had come up to him and he said, Buck is a derogatory term for people of color. Mark Greenwald didn't know this. Right? He was genuinely
oblivious to that.
Taken back. Right. And he didn't know, and he didn't mean any harm by that. And McDuffie knew, but 2 issues later, that character's name was changed from Bucky to Battlestar. Wow. So, you know, dude, the guy still tried to do the right thing.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And how often do you see that anywhere today?
You don't. Because unfortunately, what will happen first is that people will attack you rather than talk to you.
Yes.
And that's, I think that's where the bigger problem in our community is right now with the division that's going on. You know, I hate getting into that stuff because I just want to keep it positive, you know, and at least in my personal life and not dwell on things. But definitely I think one of the biggest problems within the community is just the communication and how things are being said. If people would just sit down and maybe communicate more openly and say, this is what we want. Don't assume what people want.
Right.
You know, just create content and you'll find your audience. Se acabó.
That's it. And that's what we do. Look, I've done quite a few books. I've released quite a few books on Kickstarter already. Right. And Kickstarter in 2018 raised almost $16 million. I think it was 15.8, something like that. Wow. Based off of 1,400 plus books that were launched on there.
Amazing.
Right? The strongest demographics from those launches were people of color, minorities, LGBTQ, right? People looking for a voice. And the people who are looking for it are finding it there.
Yeah.
Right?
What I wanted to say is, would you agree that it's, people, diverse people have more an opportunity to tell their story unedited via Kickstarter, and that's why it resonates? Because now you don't have an editor up your ass that's, from a bigger publisher.
Of course. It's the purest form of what you're trying to tell, and it's going directly, to use a metaphor for food, right? From the kitchen to the table, and that's it. People are finding us there. So when they talk about this whole big drop in retail sales, well, it's not that people are not buying comic books. It's that people are looking for something different. People are more educated, and they just want to hear a different take on a really good story, and they're finding that through us on Kickstarter.
I'm dying to ask. I'm going to ask you a question because I just hosted a panel at Northeast Comic Con, and I had Joe St. Pierre there,
nice.
right? With Joe St. Pierre, we awesome dude, right? And I asked him a question because I don't know if you've noticed recently on all these TV shows that are coming out that are based on comic books. Okay, have you not noticed that they use the term based on the graphic novel? Do you think that there's a stigma or stigmata using the word comics?
I think some of the old days still resonate, where educators or librarians did not like comic books, right? They felt there was a lower form of literary work, right? But today, with more graphic novels being in libraries and in stores, I think that helps those old school people transition, and accept it easier than they would have in the past.
Okay, so the use of the term
doesn't. Comic book of.
So the use of the term doesn't bother you, though, even though we all know it's a comic book, but you're okay with them saying it's based on the graphic novel.
Yeah, because even that is loose, right? There's graphic novel, there's trade paperback, right? There's collected edition.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's just the way you phrase it, right? Okay. It's 6 of one, half dozen of another.
Gotcha. All right, perfect. See, this is what I want to see, what people say to that question, because I just noticed that it, just as a comic fan, sometimes it does bother me. I want to see the word comic books. I don't find that there's a stigma against it. It's all right. It's okay to be a geek, guys. Ladies, everyone.
Oh no, I don't care if they use either one.
So long as it gets out there.
That's it.
Yeah.
As long as you know who worked on it, who wrote it, who illustrated it, who colored it, then you can call it whatever you want.
So just give the credits. That's that.
That's it.
That's
it, man.
All right.
That's it.
So you got your passion for Cap, and now you started getting the bug for writing. Where did that bug come from all of a sudden that you said, okay, I want to write something? And then how did that transform into you doing your first book?
Well, I love comic books, so I always wanted to write it. And I would submit stories unsolicited. And I'd never hear anything back from any of the companies I sent my scripts to. Back then, I didn't understand why. And I developed a little bit of a chip on my shoulder. Now, I understand why. They never accepted unsolicited scripts. Not only that, I wasn't good at telling a story either. So even if it did get through to them, I can understand if they were saying, this is just, fanboy hokey, hokey stuff. So it took me a little while. It took me time in college to learn what I was doing. And whatever, you take your writing courses and you develop stories. And I would write stories for, in my head or playing around for Captain America or Superman and stuff like that. And knowing that they never would be heard through those characters, well, then I started to develop my stuff, my characters for those stories.
Okay, and so you said that you went to college then, obviously, to improve upon your writing. Now, so now that I caught you early with that, a good question and I want to ask you is, what would you recommend then, folks that were at your point in time then, if they're there now, what courses should they take to improve their skill?
Everything. It's going to sound weird. I know it's going to sound general, but the best courses that I took were not the writing courses, right? The best courses I took were history courses. I took a history of witchcraft course that just drove me in a whole new era of topics that I can pull from. I ended up finding one of the biggest things I found in college was something I hold in my heart to this day, and it was a book on mythology that featured mythology about Taino Indians. And being Puerto Rican, of Puerto Rican descent, we were taught about all this other stuff here in the States, but we were never taught about Puerto Rican mythology, Taino Indian mythology. We heard about Hercules and Zeus and the Greek gods and the Olympic gods. And I'm not knocking them. I love them. I was drawn to them. But when I found out that there was a Taino Indian mythology while I was in college, well, I absorbed everything I could about it. And funny enough, I made Xerox copies. Xerox, right? That's not a word you hear nowadays.
What's a Xerox? I'm sorry. No.
I made Xerox copies of those pages that I still have to this day.
No way.
Maybe of the dozen or maybe 18 entries within this book of mythology about Taino Indian mythology. And that's like one of my biggest treasures, man. It's a Xerox copy.
I get you on that because I discovered, some books recently that, do reflect on Puerto Rican history. And Lionforge, just last year, they released Puerto Rico Strong. I don't know if you got to read that, but oh my God, the history of PR stuff that they've used there is fantastic. Fantastic.
Really?
You learn so much, folks. And it also supports, Puerto Rico still needs help. We're still recovering over there from the effects of the hurricane. It's a little island, folks, and we're poor. What do you want? And, we still need your help. And if you buy this book, the proceeds go, towards the island. So check out this book, Puerto Rico Strong. I was very happy. And like 30, 40, 50 different creators, diverse creators, put their hands on this book to help out. So thank you for that.
And how come something like that isn't still getting the mass media push that it should be getting today?
Because it's us. I hate saying that. I really listen. I hate saying that. I make people's eyes roll when I say that. This is why I try to stay away from these conversations. But it's really because it's us. They don't care the way that a certain a person in office has portrayed us. It has put a bad taste in a lot of people's mouth in regards to us without even knowing us. And unfortunately, they don't even understand our history. If you read a book, The War Against All Puerto Ricans. Bro, read that book. It'll blow your mind what the United States government did to our people. Massacres that have never been spoken about in history books. But again, that's even another pod, bro, because
I know.
Don't get me excited for that one. There's too much stuff going on.
Listen, the pill, right? That's one of the closest things in our recent history, right? How many women were tested back then in Puerto Rico, to get the pill for women today, and that hurts.
Yeah, and for people that are interested in trying to get to know what JayDee is talking about, there's a great documentary by Rosie Perez. Yo soy boricua pa que tú lo sepas, it's called. I'm Puerto Rican, so you know. And within that, she actually tells that story about the experimentations on Puerto Rican women for birth control.
Yep. And it's hard to prove, but you look at the older aunts that we have that never had kids before. And you wonder why. I mean, is it linked to that or not?
Oh man, I have a half brother sense of politics. I think I'm gonna have to get him on one day with you as well. We're gonna go all through this, Puerto Rico Day chat. Because
but I went to go see that when Rosie debuted that at Pace University. Before
you saw the debut on that? Awesome.
Yeah, man, she was there. Jimmy Smith was there. A few other people were there. Oh my God, the guy on Westworld. What's his name? That he was in Shaft. That he played the bad guy Peebles.
Oh, Mario Van Peebles.
No. Oh my God, you remember the Sam Jackson Shaft movie?
Yeah.
Oh my God, he's got a show coming out on Stars now. Anyway, this guy was there also. He's the one that played the bad guy. There you go, Jeffrey Wright. He was there. He was in the audience. I remember him asking questions to Rosie about the documentary. That was an awesome night, man.
Jeffrey Wright is a hell of an actor, bro. He is, man. That Westworld, he freaked me out, man. When we found out he wasn't what we thought he was, What?
I know. And then him trying to come to grips with it. Oh.
And he did that new movie as well, where he's in jail. Kind of
Is it a movie or a series?
I thought it was a movie. From what anyway, I may be wrong, man. I know that Jeffrey Wright is all over the place right now, and good for him.
Up there at Pace when it debuted, and that was a great night, man. That was a great night.
See, man, all that stuff. I didn't have my sight there, so no one wanted to talk to me.
That's right. I wasn't making comics then. Nobody wanted to talk to me either.
Yeah, I hear you, bro, right? You were just there, right? Que se joda. Soy boricua pa que lo sepa.
That's it, baby. That's it. So from college, I started writing my own stories, and then I tried to write some things, and I put together a few ash cans, and then I got married, and I moved to Virginia, and I had a house, and I did the 9-to-5 thing, and I put together, and I put the books to the side. I stopped writing. I stopped developing.
So you stopped entirely for how long?
6-7 years at least.
Wow. So did you remove yourself from comics completely, not even buy and read stuff at that point? Or you were still collecting?
Yeah.
No, you were gone.
No, I didn't. I was done. I was done, dude. The one good decision I made in that time was I left my collection at my mom's house. I never brought it to my ex-wife's house. So she didn't keep that in the separation.
That was mommy's comic books. I get that's not mine. That's mommy's, right, mommy?
That's it.
See, she probably asked me, all right, tell me what happened in Captain America. Did she get tested at court?
She never did.
Thank God.
Brother, she hated it. She hated every bit of it.
Llévate esta mierda para allá. Yo no quiero esto.
That's it.
I get it, yo.
Let me tell you, her last words to me were, I can't live in a fantasy world. man, that broke me. That broke me.
You know, they don't
I was broken. No,
they just don't get it. My mom is different. She gets it, you know, because she like her entertainment stuff. So she gets it, you know. But you know, to her, like all Puerto Rican parents, show me how the fuck you make money, and I'll leave you alone. You know?
Exactly.
Ain't that the truth? Bottom line, I don't give a fuck how you do it. Just I don't understand how you make money. Explain that to me, and I'll leave you alone.
That's it, man. And you know, the only way you made money is when you flipped a few of them at a flea market or something like that. That was it. You know, because if you try to sell it to a comic book shop, your books, you were getting lit up back then.
I was selling comic books since 6th grade. Elementary school, bro. When kids, and I was an asshole. When I had a great customer, it was this Polish kid, and his parents owned a business. He had money on him all the time. He go to religious instruction on Wednesdays. I take the books back, and on Friday I resell it to him.
Oh wow!
He didn't catch it. I resold him the same book like 6 times, bro. Before I decided to keep it.
Hustler, baby, hustler.
That's a boricua en mí, desde el principio, you know?
That's it, brother.
All right, so you started writing, right? You did your ash cans, right? But who did the art on your ash cans? How did you meet an artist in this, you know, greater scheme of things?
Well, at that time, there was a website called Digital Webbing. I don't know if it's still going on today, but they had classified ads.
Yeah.
Well, classified forums with people looking for work or people soliciting jobs. So I put out requests, you know, and I said, this was my budget. If anybody out there is willing to work with me along these lines, then give me a shout. And that got me. So I ended up putting together a few ash cans with the people that I found willing to work within my budget on digital webbing. And from there, I put that stuff to the side and went off to the great unknown of married life, which didn't work out for me.
That's another podcast there. I have several divorcees on the TV that you may want to talk to for this for a support group. Let me ask you though, before you move on. So, have you kept a relationship with any of those initial artists that you found on digital webbing?
Unfortunately, no.
None of them.
Excuse me. One of them. Yes, I do apologize. Okay. No, actually, two. I'm sorry. The colorist that works with me to this day, Michael Summers. I found him way back when on digital webbing. Michael has colored at this point maybe 7 of all the books that we've done. And one of the artists I found.
I'm sorry. How many books he covered?
It's about 95% of the books.
Jesus,
so maybe
95. Yeah. Wow.
No, not 95 books. 95%.
That's what I'm saying. 95%. Yeah, that's great. Wow. So that's your man right there.
Yeah. Oh, Mike is awesome, man. He is the best. Mike has also introduced me to new artists. Mike introduced me to Russ Leach, and Russ has drawn most of our Storm Chasers books. But Russ also was drawing Doctor Who for Panini Press over in the UK. He was also drawing Ben 10. He also draws. Yeah. No, for Panini also.
So he does Panini work. Oh, nice.
Yeah. And then he also does How to Draw the Marvel Way. So you can look him up on createuk.com or Russ Leach on Facebook or Unstoppable Comics on Facebook to see his stuff. He's always posting with us.
So I want to start getting now into Unstoppable Comics and the birth of Unstoppable. When did you decide to say, okay, I want to form my own joint? What led to that? What made you take that initiative?
It wasn't my decision, actually. It was my sister and my best friend. I came from my divorce. I was home. I was depressed.
So
I didn't want to do anything.
So how long were you divorced for at this point?
About 3 months.
Okay, so 3 months into the divorce, your life changed dramatically, and now you're with your people. Okay,
I'm there, and I didn't want to do anything stupid. I just didn't want to do anything at all. And my sister and my best friend said, look, you've done things, you've put some stuff together. go to one of these conventions. And that convention ended up being the New York Comic Con.
Your
back
first
in
Comic
2000.
Con was New York Comic Con?
Yeah. I shared a table. I shared a table with a few people.
Crazy.
To learn whatever, the ins and outs.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, you know what? I got to do this myself. So I started doing Comic Cons after that on my own. And, it came up from there, and Unstoppable Comics was pretty much born during Comic Con.
So wait, so you delved on your own initially, right? So when you delved on your own, would you just JayDee Rosario, or were you already trying to pitch this Unstoppable idea?
Oh no, Unstoppable was pitched from right there.
From day one.
Yeah, from day one.
So
brother.
where does Unstoppable come from? The name.
The never quit attitude.
Who inspired you to put that?
Nobody. I just felt it.
You felt it en los huesos tuyos tú dijiste, no one's gonna stop me. All right.
Deep down, brother. I'll say this before, and I'll say this again. I'm not that unstoppable engine of destruction that'll break down any wall. I'm more of that little engine that could. That no matter how many times he falls down the hill, he's still going to get back up and ride to the top. That's it.
And I understand that more probably than most. I explained to you even right before we started recording about how I started my year, right?
That's it.
And what happened, I'm going to keep moving forward. And here we are recording, right? I mean, you just got to keep going. You can't let things stop. If you want it, if you're hungry, you got to keep going.
Damn right. I'm right. And I got a peepaw, baby. So, I can eat.
Oh, I saw that, man. That's why I'm afraid to hang with you. I'm very afraid. I'm still slim. I'm still a size 30, 31, bro.
I wish. That was high school days for me, Papa. You know what I mean?
Listen, my size has only fluctuated by 2 sizes since high school.
Shit.
Crazy.
I wish. I rock that 40 waist, brother. I rock that 40 waist.
I could wrap that shit around me, brother.
But listen, don't let that people fool you, baby. Soy fuerte con cojones. You know what I'm saying, brother?
That's why people don't know, man. Puerto Ricans get their strength for their stomach. I'm a weakling compared to you.
Right.
Muchacho.
Damn right, brother. Well, not that you're a weakling. I'm sorry. But, I mean, we got our strength from our stomach, brother. Our ladies feed us.
See, that's another reason I'm also like, when I first moved to Mass, within the second year, I had another horrible incident happen in my life, but again, pulled through that one, right? At the time, my mama-in-law was staying with me. And let me tell you, man, I'm just working and I'm getting no one asked me, do you want to eat? There's just plates of food appearing on my desk. I'm like,
yes,
I have to eat this though, because you can't say no,
Yeah.
Dude,
yes.
That's when I started going up a little bit, few sizes. I was like, what's going on? Like, oh my gosh, this lady got to leave, man. Fuck.
Good. What's hard is...
It was horrible. You know how most people don't like their mama? No, I love my mama, though, but she's feeding me too much. Muchacho.
Yeah. Dude, listen, it's one of those days where you got to run errands and you got to go to, you're with your lady, you're at home, then you got to go to your mom's house, then you got to go to your...
Listen.
Damn it, you're eating at every stop.
See, that was me when wifey and I first started dating. We were visiting about 3-4 apartments at a time. For a Thanksgiving, for a Christmas. So that's 4 meals.
Yeah.
Like, muchacho, I need to wear a diaper or something because I can't move no more.
I would go with jogging pants on just so I didn't have to take off a belt in front of everybody.
Oh, man, that's actually a good idea, bro. I never did that, but that's actually a good idea.
My eating pants. But, I joke.
That's the best way to classify them, my eating pants, folks. When they see you with them sweats, they know what's popping. He's serious. Muchacho. Listen, people, if you don't understand what we're saying, if you please visit a good Puerto Rican restaurant, and I dare you not to eat a lot. Right? With that
it's
taste,
hard not
with that
to.
sazon.
It's hard not to. Yeah.
Come on, bro.
Mm.
With that sofrito.
Gonna have to go to Mom's after this podcast, baby.
I'm making Jay hungry right now. All right.
Yeah.
So now you've built Unstoppable Comics, right?
Okay. Yes.
What's your first title, your first character, and why?
Well, the first character was Star Striker. He was a character based on Taino Indian mythology. It's something that had been building in my head way back since college. He was a character that I wanted to put in the forefront because of where I was from. And there was a lot of fanboy in there. You know, I'm not going to deny he's a Superman archetype, or more of a Shazam archetype if you want to deal with mythology and stuff like that. But, these were my books. This was my money going into it. So I wanted to put what I felt needed to be put forward at that time. And that was a character based on Taino Indian mythology of Puerto Rican descent.
Thank you. Thank you for doing that. It's very far and few in between that we get, that at least based on my heritage, that I get characters based on my heritage. And if they do base them, they actually, do more of a mashup of diversity. You know? So basically what I'm trying to say is that, they don't just make a Puerto Rican character. They want to make them half black, half Puerto Rican, and gay. They want, unfortunately, they try to over diversify every character that they do in comics. At least the big two does, with few exceptions.
Right, but or over stereotype.
Oh
right?
My God, the stereotypes. Man, they think that these things are facts.
Yeah.
I mean, some of them may be true, and those that don't laugh at them are ignorant. If you can't laugh at your own stereotypes, because you gotta admit some of them are true. You just laugh at them. This is how you make them weaker. Make the joke out of it.
But it's like, I'm no historian, right? I'm no zoologist, but I'm pretty sure white tigers, or any other tiger for that matter, right? Or martial arts never came from the island of Puerto Rico.
See,
right? And then
folks, that's a discussion that I had with him when we say, first Puerto Rican character from Marvel. Yeah. He's walking down an alley and happens to find a chain. He puts it on, and he immediately calls himself White Tiger without being named, without no experience, without nothing. But JayDee pointed out a very good point. When the hell have you ever heard of a white tiger on the island of Puerto Rico? Maybe a white coqui, but I don't know about a white tiger.
All right. Let's go to the next Puerto Rican character that I remember from Marvel Comics. And in the 90s, Marvel had an annual season where a new character was introduced in the annual of every comic book that came out. The Captain America annual that year, debuted a character named the Battling Bantam, a Puerto Rican boxer who just wore white trunks, a tank top with red gloves, boxing headgear, and Mr. Finn on his hat. Come on, are they trying to stereotype into cock? Mm-hmm. Necessary.
It truly is.
There was not. It's truly unnecessary. Then after that, I remember a Fantastic Four comic book, all in Spanish, and they were trying to capitalize, I guess, on the Chupacabra craze.
They did the Spanish language. They, Spanish language cover. They put out flag. Yeah.
Hey. Yeah. But the character wore the flag like a cape and had, a cow, whatever, a bovine skull as his mask, and I'm like, that's not going to work, man. Yeah. That's not going to work.
Yep.
I mean, you go to the other side. And what do we got over there? DC Comics got Vibe, a breakdancing car thief, right? Talk about 80s stereotypes.
At least he doesn't shoot knives.
And then I remember Milestone had a character in the Blood Syndicate named Oro, who was a cop in his day job. I mean, does he need to have the Spanish name? You can have a character of ethnicity, but you don't need to
Have an
throw
ethnic
in all
name.
the bells and whistles.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw it out there, folks, because I have to, because we talked about this at the con, and don't be afraid to answer this. All right, we were talking about how there's a certain creator out there that created a Puerto Rican character. In creating this Puerto Rican character, however, I feel that the reason that this character has not resonated is because of the name of the title of the book, which is also the name of the character. And that in itself, I don't think would resonate with people outside of our culture. So I'm going to throw it out there because I don't, the dude has been ignoring us as a Puerto Rican podcast, so we don't care.
Oh, really? Okay.
From that La Borinqueña creator, Edgardo, whatever.
Right. Luis, that he came out of Milestone.
He came out of Milestone.
He worked on the DMC comic book. So, I mean, he's got his chops.
He has chops, but then he creates a totally ethnic character that the name is too ethnic. So I don't think a white person or a black person, an Asian person is going to buy a book called La Borinqueña without saying it in an accent, first of all. And then, but what is this? And they're not going to pick it up because they're going to think that it's too ethnic.
I understand. I agree with you, because when you look at other ethnicities, right? Let's say the Italian demographic. If they're trying to target the Italian demographic, are they going to come to the character El Italiano or Il Italiano? Is that going to be a superhero name?
Right,
no,
La Cosa Nostra.
It's not. Yeah, man. It doesn't work. It doesn't flow off the tongue. It does not benefit. It does not lend itself, to any sort of crossover momentum at all. You're stopping right there. Yeah. We already said it's a small island. Yes, we have people in all 50 states, right? But it's going to stop with just the Puerto Rican people.
It is.
It is.
Like, we see that title. We know how to pronounce it. We understand. Like, okay, let's check this out because of our pride. But, again, the title is going to deter people outside of our culture to kind of check it out. Because now, again, is it Spanish language? Because the title is in Spanish, bro. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
Call it something else.
But on top of that, he came out how long ago with the concept? 3 years ago? 4 years ago?
Yep.
Was it?
Yep. Yes, about that. About 3 to 4 years ago. Yes.
How many books has he come out with the character? How many miniseries has he come out with the character?
Well, one book,
Other than trading on that name, right? And that and the piece to help benefit Puerto Rico. How much has that character's story been told?
Yep.
So does he really have a story to tell with that, or was he just trying to grab a gimmick to begin with?
I think more gimmicky, absolutely, and then trying to use the hurricane as an avenue to sell your character. I also found that to be distasteful, in my opinion. That's just me.
Yeah.
Again.
I get it. Do we write stories about 9/11? No.
No.
It's not a plot point.
I welcome that creator onto this podcast to tell me otherwise. But other than that, that's going to be my belief going forward, because I like what you're doing and the way you think about it. Nobody names themselves. I mean, I'm looking at the cover right now to Unstoppable Origins #1. You got a character that has Taino Indian mythology, and you also have a character that connects with Arthurian mythology. I hope I pronounced that right.
Yes.
Thank you.
Arthurian mythology, yeah.
So, to see that you got a flag, you got a UK flag, that unity, they're not white, they're dark skinned, brown, black, that pops. And look at just the name, Unstoppable Origin. Oh, what's this?
Yeah.
So even though I see the flags, it won't deter me from picking up the book, because what is this? You understand? It's different. So I like your approach here. Now, you have what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 titles right now, right? But I've also picked up that you may be going into a 6th and 7th title, all right? And you're going to do something like a Who's Who type of book?
Yeah. The old character guides, the Marvel Universe handbook.
Marvel Universe, Who's Who? I got to go.
That's
with those.
it. I love that. I love that stuff. For a few bucks, you were able to get, so much history. It was an encyclopedia for comic books.
Dude, man.
So we've been doing comics for a little while.
My favorite part of the Marvel Universe ones, though, is
I love that.
The characters. Oh, man.
The last 4 issues of the series. That was great, man. People that were alive when the first issues came out ended up in Book of the Dead by that time, because they've been running on for so long.
Okay.
So that's my inspiration for this.
Dude, you're a collector. You're going to freak out right now. Do you know that I actually found at a convention not too long ago 2 packs of the Marvel Universe? Now, you heard what I said, packs, right? It wasn't the book. It was the ones that you would put in the 3-ring binder.
I got some of those too.
So,
when it would show the turnarounds of the characters.
Yeah, wasn't that cool,
front view, side view, back view. Yeah, boys.
I felt like you had these G.I. Joe character cards, but real official. Like, if you ever go through this, it's like you're the FBI going through your, who can I use now?
I still have the binder. I bought the binder for that stuff. Yeah.
When it came out?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. You're a collector.
Yeah, it was just a binder. There was no sheets in it. You know, I had to get my own sheets. But it was just the binder, man.
All right. You're a collector. Man. Yeah, I like you saying that what you have. What's the gem of your collection?
Oh, man. Dude, that's hard, bro.
Oh, shit. It's always a difficult question. I could tell you mine. It's just because, again, first Puerto Rican character in comics, first appearance of White Tiger. That's my gem. It's not worth shit, but that's just my gem because it means something to me. But other than that, then it's also my first comic book, Chris Star, the Crystal Warrior #2. And I still have my OG beat up that I read 200 times.
I love Chris
You do?
Star.
Holy shit.
What?
Not many people know about Chris Star, bro. Thank you. Holy
bro,
shit.
I used to have that castle.
You had the toys?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Oh,
that was
shit.
a $10 castle, man.
What a segue. Yeah. Jay, you are a slick mofo. I see what you did there, man. You're going to start making me talk about these unstoppable toy line that you're coming out with. What's this all about?
Look at that. So, yes. So,
what's that?
For the last few years, I wanted to do it. Wanted to make some action figures based on our toy line, based on the characters that we made. It took a little while to find a sculptor that we can afford and a factory that could do the stuff we wanted to do. G.I. Joe size, so around 3 3/4 to 4
really?
inches.
G.I. Joe
they're going to
size?
be,
Ooh.
they're going to be around 22 points of articulation on the figures. Yeah. Based on Unstoppable Comics heroes.
So who's the first one that you're planning to put out there? Can we say that now?
Okay. You mentioned the Arthurian mythology, and that's based on our book, Shield of the Interceptor.
Yeah. And
Shield of the Interceptor is a hero who found the shield that was supposed to go with the sword Excalibur. Oh. And what does he do with it today? And how does he, if he's expected to be a protector, how can he protect, the world of Avalon and our world at the same time when he's one man with, being pulled in so many different directions? So that character is going to be in our first wave. And the character that we're talking about based on Taino Indian mythology. Another character, Dragon Storm. But you know what? Our first 3 are going to be one of Asian American descent, Latin American descent, a Afro Brit, and American descent. I guess bad joke, right? Just American and another Israeli American.
Thank you for saying that, though, because I discuss this with my wife all the time about why people are not prideful about calling themselves American. If you're born in this country, you are American, regardless of your fucking heritage. Yeah. If people would just call themselves American, regardless of their color, I think that would kind of solve a lot of problems right there. Because you'll find unity, at least. We're all American, bro.
Dude, we're here. We're sharing the same highways every day, right? The same trains every day.
Whatever color we are. I mean, I was in New York for a minute, you know what I mean? When you had them old Chinese ladies trying to fit into the smallest gap of space between you and another person on the subway, and then you wind up getting up because, God damn it, stop getting so close to me with them veggies.
Some of those veggies are good, though. But see, based on that idea, right, and not wanting to head further down that road of bad propaganda, the main villain of that first wave, he's not any ethnicity at all. He's a monster. He's a demon. And he's a demon who's able to turn other people into demons, or at least let other people get possessed by demons. So you got all these diverse cultured heroes who are not fighting another ethnicity. They are fighting just one straight monster.
Gotcha. Yep. That's the way to do it. That's the way to
Yeah.
do it. So in this world of Interceptor and Star Striker, who else is part of that world? Is Dragonstorm, is Storm Chasers part of that same world?
Yeah, well, Interceptor and Star Striker, they're part of the Storm Chasers team. And look, I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. Storm Chasers is along those lines of Avengers, Justice League, but it's my spin on it, right? It's my spin that's driving that wheel, that's spinning that wheel. Then you've got Dragonstorm, who's more of that martial arts element, mystical side to it. Aside from the superhero stuff, though, I do have a zombie book.
Yeah, I wanted to get into that. You know, definitely, because I loved the title of it.
New York versus the world.
Yeah, kiddo. Because even though I was in Massachusetts and I'm in Rhode Island, and I'm still support New York. They say Jodanto. They get mad at me. Many arguments and hate over here. Because, I
get it.
I know our sports teams suck right now, but again, that's the word. Right now, we'll wake up again. Don't worry.
Listen, brother. When I was married, I was living in Virginia.
I'm so sorry for you.
Yeah.
You must have been tortured every fucking day.
Oh, man. They were giving it to me. They were giving it to me out there.
Listen, my wife one time was at a mall. She's wearing a Yankee cap, right? And she's walking. The guy says, "Oh, I love your hair, but I hate the cap."
Yeah.
Ask for your opinion. Screw you.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, you would think, the best thing to do when you live out of state of New York is change your license plate and insurance. No. But it was still coming here out of New York, baby. Yeah, all right, my plate still stays in New York.
I'll tell you a story, man. I went to a store over here. They're not bodegas, at delis or whatever. Quick stop, whatever. So there was a gentleman pulled out a Yankee wallet, and I said, "Oh my God, a Yankee fan over here, the first one I've met." So and I had a Yankee like keychain. We're like comparing, and the lady behind the counter looks at both of us. He goes, "If y'all both don't shut the fuck up, I need you both the fuck out of here. Fuck New York." Oh, damn! Thanks for the hey. We both obviously were very quiet because I needed my beer. He needed his cigarettes. You know how it goes.
They hate us, brother. They hate us. So because of that, it's New York versus the world, bro. That's where it came from.
So
feeling that.
What's the premise here? What's going on in New York different from the whole world?
All right. So the idea behind the story is the zombie apocalypse happens, and New York City, they blow the bridges and they flood the tunnels. It takes them 15 years to clean out the city. Once they do, they start to let survivors back in. But how do they treat those survivors? That's the key to the story. When you look at some of the other zombie movies that are out there, the best ones are the ones that carried the metaphors, right? The first one was, about how they felt about racism, right? Then you had the second one when it came to our the one that was in the mall and our addiction to, merchandise and stuff like that, right? That's it. So this, without even understanding that I was writing it like this, the metaphor behind this is xenophobia wrapped in a zombie package,
Gotcha. Have you ever thought about optioning any of this stuff as yet? To do something bigger, on our bigger scale, like TV, movies.
I'd love to. I don't know how to do it, so without knowing how to do it, I'd be wasting my time.
All right.
Trying to figure that out. I'm definitely not opposed to it.
Yeah, this is why you got us, all right? You got me, man. We'll help you whatever way we can and connect to the right people and get that knowledge.
I appreciate that.
And with that said, I want to ask you, if you had a choice, what would be the first movie you would do out of your universe?
Oh, man.
I know that's a crazy question, right? Loaded.
That is super loaded. I'd love to do the Storm Chasers, the team stuff. Definitely because, that character with Star Trek based on Taino Indian mythology is in there. But honestly, one of my favorite ones is the Shield of the Interceptor story. Dude, I write it. It feels so natural when it comes out, and there's so much more involved in it. It's a bigger roads gallery, and it's easier for people to dive into, right? I guess you could say he would be the Spider-Man of the Unstoppable Comics universe. He's that center franchise character that everything else builds out of.
Gotcha. Okay, so what does the future hold right now for Unstoppable? What's the direction? Where are we going other than the toys? What's coming in the comic book universe? Because I know this, you talk about these Kickstarters, man.
Yeah. Well, we definitely got more books. We got Storm Chasers #3 launching in the next day or two. I'm just waiting for some art to come back on that. And I don't like to launch a Kickstarter until I have the entire book ready. So once the last few pages I get it colored, then I feel confident enough to put it up for launch on Kickstarter. So that way, all we're looking for is the money to print up the book. We're not waiting months and months and months for other people to finish it.
Thank you. I want to thank you for that, JayDee, because I love saying this. And again, another call out. Rob Liefeld's Brigade. I've been waiting like 6 years for this Kickstarter.
Oh man,
he's offered a refund. He's offered a refund, but no, I want to see what this finished book looks like, because you're promising it's gonna happen, but yet he's still taking other work elsewhere. You feel me? So like, why not take care of your fans first? If you did, JayDee, what's your turnaround on a Kickstarter? Please tell fans. I know what it is. I know already what it is, but I want you to reiterate it on this program. What's your turnaround once your Kickstarter closes?
I try to shoot for.
I'm sorry. Hello?
Have it within less than 2 months. Yeah, I'm sorry, I lost you. But I try to shoot for at least 6 weeks to 2 months. That's it. Tops.
Tops. You heard that, ladies?
Yeah.
Tops. Rob Liefeld. 2 months. You hear this?
Wow.
Thank you, JayDee. See, you are a awesome creator that actually apparently cares about the fans and making sure they get product in hand. Now, what type of goodies you offer on your Kickstarters when you kick them off?
Oh, you got original artwork, out of print issues. You got brand new T-shirts, exclusive T-shirts. You got original sketch cards. You have entire print runs if I still have them. I don't print a lot of copies, so once they're gone, they're gone. They run into.
Do you keep first? You stay at first print, or do you do second, third, fourth?
Some of the stuff has gone to second printing on earlier issues, but they're held with separate covers.
Gotcha.
So this is the second printings.
So do you have any first printings left? Those OG first appearances?
I do, but not many. But those that I do will be on the next Kickstarter. If anyone is interested,
we'll see.
They
folks,
can grab them there.
Speculation here, because you never know. This is an awesome, diverse universe. You laugh, JayDee, but listen, you have a fantastic, diverse universe that's original.
Thanks.
It's fun. You don't stay heavy on no politics. You make comics what they were supposed to be. You know what I mean? They're not a quick read either. You have content to read. You have beautiful art to look at. I mean, so kudos to you. I mean, that's 11 years in the industry, bro. 11. So that's another kudos to you there.
Thank you.
And again, it's minority owned, so yet another kudos to you there. People, so people that again, say that they want a minority, a diverse universe. Here's one at your doorstep.
We're here.
At your doorstep.
We're here. We're out here.
And it's not just superheroes. You got horror.
Yeah. My two favorite genres. And
I want to ask you about something, because I heard other than the Who's Who book and the latest Unstoppable Origins, there might be a new character in the universe, Phantom Hawk.
Oh, Phantom Hawk's been there for a little bit. Yeah. And the idea behind him is okay. If I can talk metaphors for a second, we know who Batman is. We know who the Joker is. We know who the Riddler is, right? Let's say, for argument's sake, the Riddler accidentally kills Batman. And he thinks, I'm king of the world. Everybody's going to have to bow to me. But then in the very next moment, he's like, oh, if the Joker finds out, well, he'll kill me. And then he'll go to work on me. So for no other reason than to protect his own neck, this character puts on the mask of the Batman. He figures, I jump around a few rooftops, People think he's still around. Nobody will be the wiser as to what happened, right? So when this story picks up, that villain, that B-level villain, is already wearing that A-level hero's mask. But he can't keep together the lies that he's telling about who he is when he's wearing the hero mask, who he is when he's wearing the villain's mask, and who he is on his own. He just can't keep it all together. So when the story picks up, when you first meet him, he's starting to crack. So the ramifications of that crack is what our readers are going to get right from the beginning.
Wow. Okay. You hear that, folks?
Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Very awesome.
Yeah.
So
see, it's all about taking care of, fans, I guess, right? It's trying to give them the best thing. That's one of the reasons why I'm going to be also hosting a comic book convention in New York.
Really?
Next year.
Oh, wait. What's this all about? What's the name of it? The Unstoppable Con?
No, I got two other partners, so we have a different name. We're keeping that separate from Unstoppable Comics. But the convention is going to be called PowCon, and it's going to be in Brooklyn by Brooklyn boys.
Where in Brooklyn?
The Greenpoint area on Noble Street. There's the Brooklyn Expo Center.
On Noble? Nice. Yeah. Holy shit.
Yeah. Yeah, 2 stops from the G train.
Well, hopefully we could get in there, man, and be able to check out your show, man.
I'd love for you and for everybody else who hears this to show up there. They can go to powcon.com right now to pick up some of the tickets and to see who some of our guests are already.
So how's that going with the collection of guests and whatnot? How's the whole experience for you going from comics now to convention promotion?
It is crazy, bro. It is crazy.
Overwhelming.
You know what it's like? Big time. It's like you got a conference call with the convention crew on night 1. Then you got a conference call with the toy crew on night 2. Then on night 3, you do a call with or emails back and forth with this group of artists. And then night 4, you got a email or call with this group of artists. And then, night 5, you try to do work on your own to stay ahead of the curve. And then night 6, you crash and burn and fall asleep until Monday morning. Because you're so tired from being up late every night of the week.
Crazy, but that's great though. You have a lot going on, a lot of movement. So again, another kudos to you there, man. So as soon as you get those guest lists and everything all firmed up, send me over that information so that way I can share with our readership and base, and they know where to go. Because we have a lot of fans in New York, and I have my family that are big fans, so I know they'll attend all cosplayed out. Forget about it. It'll be all
I
right,
hope so.
Son.
We're looking forward to seeing some. I hope it happens. We're looking forward to seeing some Power Rangers cosplayers because we got a couple Power Ranger guests already at the convention.
Oh, I'll give my brother Ed Zuck. He's a very big cosplayer over there. So he needs those types of shit.
Yeah?
But maybe I'll let him know that you might have some fans there that do that, and maybe he'll come up with something crazy. Who knows? He just did Spider-Punk.
Oh, nice. With the jean jacket and the spikes in the head and the guitar. Yeah.
Really cool. He did a good job with that shit. Yeah, if you could cosplay as anybody, who would you cosplay as? Putting you on the spot right there.
Well, I'd like to cosplay as one person, but my fat ass would probably only end up being like the Blob or something.
Would you cosplay someone from within your own comic universe?
If I had the body, yeah. If I had the body, yes, I would. I would.
Would you go with your franchise?
If
you did, though, you had to shave your head. I don't know about JayDee, bro.
I don't know either, man. I'm fat enough as it is, brother. That bald head would make me look even bigger.
Like an eraser, a giant eraser.
Yeah, I have to stay away from that look.
Oh, shit. All right, so before we go, I wanted to tell fans where can we look up Unstoppable?
You could find us at UnstoppableComics.com, Unstoppable Comics on Facebook, Unstoppable Comics on Instagram, or Unstoppable COM on Twitter.
And then other than C2E2, do you have plans to be anywhere else?
As of right now, it's just C2E2, New York Comic Con, and PalCon on January 25th.
Next year, January 25th. Remember to send me over the info. And folks, mark that date on your calendars and make sure to visit Greenpoint, New York. It's going to be hot and popping for the next biggest con out of New York. Finally, shit, as soon as they move out, people start doing comic book stuff. They're waiting for me to leave, I swear.
It takes Brooklyn boys to do this, brother. It takes Brooklyn boys to run a Brooklyn con.
I hear you, brother. I hear you. And I'm here doing a Brooklyn-based business out of Rhode Island.
Listen, you're repping, baby. You're repping. You are true to who you are. That's it.
Ahí está. All right. So, again, JayDee, thank you for your time today and chit-chatting with me. This is the UCPN special. Make sure to check out Unstoppable Comics. I'm going to share all the links on the post. Make sure to visit, subscribe, buy, hit them Kickstarters, because you heard them, 2 months, not 6 years. You heard that, Rob? Anyway, I'm Al Mega on Undercover Capes. This is the UCPN special. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Peace.
All right, let me stop the recording now. Stop. This is an Undercover Capes production. Thank you for listening. Make sure to visit ComicCrusaders.com, UndercoverCapes.com, GeekeryMagazine.com, and our newest venture, SplinteredPress.com.